And we are live! Good evening, everybody! Where is my face cam? Where's my camera? It doesn't matter. Nobody actually needs to see me.
But we love you.
I'm just bemused. And me being me, I of course have to troubleshoot instead of just ignore it and move on.
It's a curse of the trade.
Working. There we go. Okay. Forced it back to life. So, good evening, one and all, and welcome back to Hoarding Dragons, where we try to get through the module Hoard of the Dragon Queen from Wizards of the Coast. In order to help me get through this damn module, I have here a stein of Donkey Man from Momac Brewing Company. I'd say they should pay me, but there are only 3 people listening.
Wow. That's
3 people to start, man.
And to give ourselves a short recap, all of this began a long time ago in a galaxy far away with a slightly different makeup of players. Literally one person changed. It wasn't that big a deal. In the faraway town of Greenest, where dragons and cultists were running amok, and our heroes, they helped set things on fire, but they did technically, for a legalistic definition of the term, save the day. It technically occurred that they saved the day. And then they were sent out of town to go find the cultists. And when they found the cultists, they freed a dude and ran away. Because all they were supposed to do was check in on things. And then they went back to the cultists to check in on them again while the town organized a response. Because the game thought it was important that, you infiltrate the camp, and then you leave, and then you come back and you re-infiltrate the camp. Albeit that gave them an excuse to have the cultists leave. During all of that, and during that second visit, they explored the interior of the cabin, nearly died, went on a dream quest journey, and ended up with a dragon egg. Oh, hello, beer. Instead of doing the smart thing and smashing this black dragon egg, they loaded it up into their cart.
To be fair, multiple of us wanted to kill it.
This is true. They then
Me
proceeded.
especially.
They then proceeded north to some town or another. Let's see, El Turl, in order to get they money, because once again their employer left without paying. These guys have a bad track record. They made it to El Turl, got paid, got hired to track the cultists, infiltrate them, figure out where all this treasure is being taken to and why, and that led to them eventually making their way to Baldur's Gate, and then up the coast way through Dragon Spear along the trade way to Daggerford, during which time they had myriad and sundry non-adventures that served no real purpose. Oh, and way back in El Turl, they also killed a bunch of demons, resulting in them brewing demon Ichor liquor. And picking up the luggage. Don't ask, there are way too many subplots to keep track of.
And we're also making Dragon Ale now, too, so I'm excited.
The drinking helps me thinky.
Honestly, I'm gonna be drinking from this. Just like my message to you said, Dragon. Anytime, just assume I'm gonna be drinking a lot. Like Molten is gonna be drinking a lot because apparently I'm a fucking thing's mother that I want to kill.
Yes.
You people are like Republicans.
Not far
Don't
out.
mean to carry it at all.
No, see, here's the difference. They care more about it now that it's been born.
Okay, you're right.
But
Not only
Tish,
that,
we've made our
but,
obligatory political joke. We can move on.
Not only that, but we also view this thing as a money hoard now. And a security dog, to a degree.
It's definitely better. It's definitely better than an alarm spell.
Also a lot better than the donkey.
Don't miss the donkey.
I will be telling you when I'm taking a drink, though. So just as the night goes on, just assume Molten, as I get more drunk, assume Molten is also getting more drunk. Apply addiction points, whatever, as need be, or just disadvantage, whatever, as need be.
Kadama. The best way to interpret the events of, well, the entire game is that some crazy shit happened. The Cult of the Dragons is involved. Our party has found a way to make a profit off of saving the day, whilst also getting shit-faced drunk, making their own liquor, discovering that homeopathy sometimes works, and hatching a baby dragon that is infused with demonic powers.
You're welcome.
Oh, and that bonded did the whole baby bird bonding thing with Martin Luther and Brune. Martin Luther is now a proud mommy.
Not a proud.
Well,
Can
think of it this way.
I do 40-second week abortions?
Well, here's the thing, Martin. At this point, you could think of it as your punishment for always running away.
Yeah, you always abort the
scared of
mission.
existence.
And he has something to defend him in case he ever goes into battle again.
It's not my fault I'm scared of existence. You people get killed by kobolds and tell me if you weren't scared by existence.
Okay, that was a declarative. I was gonna say, for a moment there, I thought you were suggesting they're the ones who get murdered by kobolds, when in fact it was the guy putting their heads on pikes.
Hey, we're too good for that.
And so, our party, along with the caravan in which they've been traveling, arrives in Waterdeep. The caravan begins to break up. What's your name? Walker, that's your name. Obviously can't get paid because your employer is dead and you already looted his corpse. It's a story for another time, ladies and gentlemen. Go watch the earlier episodes.
So, technically, I did get paid.
I also had some dude's arm. which is fun.
You have some dude's highly rotted arm, and you are getting paid your 48 gold for services rendered. Walker, don't forget that you have a hobgoblin looking at you, waiting to get paid, now that he's completed his contract.
That's right, I need to pay him. How much do I owe him?
I'm gonna call it 5 gold, just to keep life easy. He didn't do all that much.
So, alright, I can do that. Out of my own personal stash.
And it's worth noting that as Lai pays you, Billy, well, if you ever abandon that band of lunatics, I'm willing to offer you another job, but not if they're part of the deal.
Ooh.
As he walks away. And in general, you get the gist that on these, at Waterdeep, you've got the southern-facing caravanasses where, people can start selling their goods on for sale in the city and whatnot. And you can quickly hear rumors about y'all spreading amongst the crowds. And none of it's good, from what you can catch, because you're crazy.
Well, the funniest thing is that I caused a lot of the issues.
But you caused a lot of them, but you managed to escape being the center of their attention.
True, I avoided mutations as well.
Uh-huh. You never grew wings.
Or
Fortunately, Sniffles has managed to stay out of sight for the most part. So while stories about you guys and dragons do abound, there are no particular stories about you keeping a dragon in your company.
Oh, that's good.
As, generally speaking, we'll just go ahead and say Jim, since he's not here, has been making it a point of covering up the the chicken coop that you guys had thrown Martin in, and that the dragon has taken over as her little home.
Alright, so we've got a shopping list. Maybe we can get through the town without getting lynched.
It's possible, as Jim takes the cart around towards the north side of town on the principle of, eventually, you guys are supposed to keep tracking the cult north of Waterdeep based on what you were able to find. You don't know how long they'll be
following us.
Yeah, they have plenty of reason to wonder and worry and possibly murder you guys.
They can try.
They have recognized Brune, after all.
They can try. We've already established how well that plays out.
I'll be ready for them.
So, what is it you wish to do while you're here? In the City of Splendors, the greatest... The greatest of all the jewels of the Sword Coast, the most amazing city ever invented in all of Faerun, and it gets 6 paragraphs. 6 paragraphs of this book.
Wow.
I was gonna say also a pretty shitty RPG, but then I realized that's Neverwinter.
Yep.
I want to go shopping for some form of magical implements to reinforce my limited spell slots, specifically scrolls.
I will get you a price tag on scrolls.
Alright.
You can, in a metropolis like this, you can pretty much find spell scrolls.
Alright. Now, would they have scrolls for some of the higher level spells I have, like Scorching Ray, for instance?
Yes, actually.
Alright.
Like I said, I will message you with the details, the deets.
Alright.
And what are other people wanting to do in there with however limited time they may have?
I feel like Bailey's kind of stuck on trying to figure out his dragon blood wine right now. And he really doesn't need anything. He hasn't used any of his healing potions. He hasn't used too many bolts. Yeah, I think he's pretty much good right now.
So he's going to perhaps be on the make sure you don't lose track of where the hell the cultists are going job?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get some slightly better armor.
Understandable.
Where's
You
the
should have...
baby?
The baby is with Jim Jones,
Okay.
heading to the far side of... heading to the north side of the town.
Alright.
As I try to remember where they put the prices for consumable items.
Yeah, I'm looking for healing potions.
Healing potions are 50 gold. Or, if you want... As I double check... See, this is the boring part that nobody should ever have to watch on a stream. And we open with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for the nearest potion shop.
I think Jim wanted he wanted to do business with a holy woodworker.
Yep. So if you're looking for Jim's holy woodworker for him, since he's watching over the dragon.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
Martin Luther, it's easy enough to find any kind of non-magical equipment. You just pay the price that's in the book.
Right. Are these potions of greater healing or just regular potions of healing?
Regular potions of healing.
Okay, I'm gonna get 10. Just storm into the shop, hat pulled down around my head because the noise is pissing me off. I demand, I want 10 potions of healing, and I need them to go now. And I don't even stop on at the bar. Just getting the hell out.
Okay, what is real quick on the in the wiki too, because I just typed in light armor 5e. It's saying plus dex modifier max 2.
Yeah, well,
I can only add 2 to. If my dex is plus 3, I can only add plus 2 to that.
Yes.
Oh, I really should have made a better point of covering all this before we... Yes, if you go up to the medium armor... If you go up to the medium armor, you cannot use more than 2 on your dex modifier. So if you want better than studded leather, you basically have to go all the way up to scale mail, which will give you disadvantage on stealth checks.
I need that.
Or you could go all the way up to a breastplate for 400 gold to get the same 14 plus 2 points of your dexterity.
I mean, it would bring me up by 1 point.
Yeah. So you're really not going to gain much from armor unless and until you can put your hands on some magic armor.
There was no one in this place to help me with that, is there?
Debatable. But geez, I really wish we had handled this off channel.
We need chickens and a goat.
My bad.
No, it's all of our shopping wants.
Can I go and try to find someone for that?
I'm gonna go with you don't have enough time to find a seller for something like magical armor. You can
Anything
find
that's going to need to be bespoke or crafted. We don't have enough time to wait for that to be built.
Exactly.
Okay, well, fuck.
This is a gas station stop. This is the only reason Brune's coming into town.
Because you know from your informant within the cult that they're not going to stay in Waterdeep long. They're heading out as quickly as they can manage.
Yeah, which is basically walk to town like we are to replenish and then go.
Well then, I guess I'm... The 10 bad to good quality dragon talismans. I don't know if anyone would be interested in them.
I think I had a price tag around here somewhere for selling them. Give me an investigation check to see if you can find somebody who is a collector of artistic oddities. And I'll tell you how much money.
Oh.
You're
Hey, am I
able
getting
to
any
get
weird looks for the goat legs.
not really.
Oh, I'm not
Oh
sure I
wait,
would
no,
notice.
you don't have the goat legs anymore. They would have gone away by now.
Oh, okay. So that wasn't okay.
None of those things are permanent. So you're basically stuck selling them at 10 gold apiece, Martin.
I think I'm gonna hold on to them.
All right.
Oh man, if those are temporary,
shit.
you can make a killing selling them.
I could have sworn that there was a lower price tag for magic items that were for spell scrolls. Ah, there it is. Have for a consumable like a potion.
All right.
So I will double check that that all of the spell scrolls count as common items. I think they do.
Oh, okay.
And then I will get a price to you. For now, I know you guys have plenty of money, so for now I'm willing to say you have some spell scrolls.
Okay.
And we'll work out the finer details later.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go and just find a little shrine and leave like in gold.
All right. That's a perfectly worthy thing to do.
Hoping she doesn't smite you.
And is anybody trying to make sure they keep eyes on the cultists?
I've been doing it.
All right. Can you give me an investigation check, or what other checks might be appropriate, do you think? Investigation is the one that jumps out to me, but it doesn't seem like it would be the only way to do it.
Perception wouldn't really fit unless they're trying to hide, so...
Right. This is just a case of you trying to figure out in a metropolis...
Like tracking. Couldn't survival also do it for tracking's sake?
In a city where you don't have the normal... I guess if you're trying to keep up or keep after them, I'll allow survival on the idea that you're trying to maintain a line of sight, but not quite, kind of like you're stalking prey, so to speak.
Yeah. Meh.
You're able to track them a good ways through the city until you just kind of accidentally take a wrong turn staring at this beautiful dwarven woman's beard. And find yourself in a quite nice little ale shop.
Can we safely assume that we're all trying to do the same thing at least?
Well, you're shopping for scrolls, so you can't be trying to track them.
I can't be tracking. All right.
It's kind of one of those, everybody gets to do one thing.
All right, cool.
We haven't heard anything from Thodreen as to what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think what Thodreen would want to do.
Well, Jim Jones had been badgering you about finding people who might help craft his barrel of holy liquor. I don't know how much Thodreen cares to help him in that crazy quest.
I mean, I gotta make sure that it's using the right wood and the right metal band. Gotta find somebody who has the right filigree to put in the holy symbol. I could help sort him out with that.
Alright, so for you, because there's a full-blown temple district kind of a thing going on,
Right.
I would say that that's as easy as... Ooh, excuse me, that'll be a religion check, I think.
Character. Selected. Best, but it'll
Well, you're able to find some people who think they could probably do something like that. But nothing, no really good solid lead. So sadly, he's going to have to keep looking. Because unfortunately for the vampire, I have something specific in mind for that nonsense.
alright.
You'd have to use 2 bowls.
Okay, so it seems like we're able to successfully... So a spell has a level associated with it. 1, 2, 3 cantrips would count
Right.
as half.
Okay.
So 5 gold times the level plus 1. So a
okay.
first level spell would be 5 times 2, or
All
10
right.
gold for a scroll.
All right. Cool.
Because unlike actual active spells, you can't just randomly choose the level of them if they're a preset scroll.
That is also true. The way they describe it, I'm sure there's more nuance to it, but
It's stored energy that you can't alter. You can only unleash.
I was meaning more the
Right.
game mechanics side, not the
Mm.
not the reasons for why it works that way. All right, so they're headed to the north side of town. Billy failed to successfully track them all the way across town because he got distracted by beer and women. The rest of you were able to
Ale
achieve...
shop. I want to grab a bottle of like scotch or whatever I can. Why? To
easily
make up to the
doable.
group.
Easily doable.
Hmm.
Give me a perception check, actually, while you're in there.
Okay. Even worse than my survival. Watch it be better somehow. It's not.
Okay. So you're able to get assistance with finding a good bottle of scotch. No one knows why it's called scotch, because it's called scotch. Don't worry about it, guys.
Technically, every name here, or every name of alcohol is based off of a location. Or a person.
I'm not sure about bourbon or whiskey, though. Or gin. But that's not important.
Maybe he's named after a guy named Jim with the lisp.
I thought whiskey was named for Worcestershire or something.
It could
Who
be.
knows?
I don't know. However, in Faerun, some of the names derive from the fact that there are really powerful spellcasters and whatnot that have traveled through the multiverse and have actually visited Earth and brought back a bottle of scotch or something similar.
Cool.
And so that's why it keeps the name in common.
Considering the fact that these are the same people who own MTG, yeah, it kind of checks out.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it technically goes back before TSR
It's a
owned the
TSR
rights.
artifact, I think.
It's technically a pre-TSR artifact from when Greenwood first came up with Faerun, before he finally got it published through TSR as part of the Dungeons and Dragons universe.
Neat.
He was like, okay, how do I justify some of the ideas I have? And he went, well, I can't honestly justify them that well. It's kind of ridiculous to claim I can. So I'm just gonna say that wizards did it, because wizards can do magic, and magic lets them do things like travel to other dimensions. One of those can be Earth.
Hell, we have Elminster.
That
In 3.5, there's a historical society of wizards in Faerun that have time travel.
Well, specifically you brought up Elminster. The official story, according to Ed Greenwood, obviously official story is still fiction, is that he's never actually telling you a story in any of his books. Elminster has come and visited him, and they had some whiskey, and Elminster regaled him with his adventures during his life. And Ed Greenwood wrote them down and published them as fiction on our plane because nobody would fucking believe it. So, canonically, our world exists in parallel to Toril.
Yeah. Which would put it in canon with Pathfinder's core universe.
Yep.
Reason being, fuckery.
Alright, so, having lost them, what do y'all do when you manage to start to regroup somewhere on the north side of town?
I'm going to start looking for
I'm gonna-
tracks.
I'm gonna try an insight check to see if I can see if maybe reason. Well, no, that would be more of would an insight check work for maybe trying to, for lack of a better term, divine where they may be gathering?
It's hypothetically technically possible,
I mean-
but highly
I mean,
improbable.
we've been traveling with them for quite some time,
Right.
so we know basically what their patterns might be. So that's about all I've got. My investigation is, not the best in the world. I want to try and take something I've got. It's either between insight or investigation. So whatever you want to roll with.
For what you described, I'd say it's an insight check.
Mm-hmm.
I like how once again the game assumes that you ask a very specific question.
Wow, that's an absolute failure.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
So the walker begins heading back through Waterdeep, thinking that they're obviously
Back
going to take a
back south.
ship down south, possibly all the way to Chult.
Oh, God.
He's heard that in the
No.
warmer weather, the cult of the dragon just kind of goes away. As things warm up.
Somebody grab me before I wander off.
Well, with that
I'm
insight, you're
taking
probably
away.
just wondering if you're telling yourself the truth.
I'm blaming
Hold
the,
on
I'm
just a
blaming the
moment.
addiction points.
Okay?
There we go.
I apparently did not have to mute myself. I thought the wife was having trouble with something, because I have sound counseling headphones on, so all I heard was her yelling at me. So Brune is able to have the impressive insight that the walker is being crazy and drunk despite his sobriety.
Hey, get where are you going?
Thanks, Brood.
But he also notices, and I'm just gonna give it to you because this is such badly planned out on their part. He's able to spot, as he's grabbing Walker, he notices out of the corner of his eye one of the wagons that he knows is part of the cult, because it's that damaged wagon that kind of slipped in the river,
Right.
and it's pulling into a warehouse.
We do a double take at each other, at the warehouse, at each other, then back at the group. And I just point at the warehouse. Look like a hound dog that's caught the scent.
The paw up and
help.
everything.
Just don't howl.
March, get him.
So now you know where they are. You have to, I suppose, figure out how to... I mean, you could hypothetically track them at a distance and try not to get noticed. Or, since you know that they're supposed to be continuing north, you could try and get in with whatever caravan they're going to be joining.
Yeah, let's try that. See if that works, because I don't really want to try and track them at a distance. We could lose them too easy.
I was going to say, if they're inside the warehouse, we could go the Walker method and just kill them now.
Just set it
But
on
we have to
fire.
Yeah, let's go join the
but
caravan.
Normally, I'd be on board with that, but we have to figure out where they're going. This warehouse is just a stop on the way. We know they're going north after Waterdeep.
Also,
So
also burning down the warehouse might ruin that piece of gear from your old mercenary company.
That is true. Hmm.
Well, all right, so let's find the next caravan to leave.
All right, find a bunch of pissed off rats and put them into the warehouse.
What? Why?
Because we have a druid?
No, then they might change warehouses if they're too pissed off. We know where they are.
He's saying
If
put
they
rats
leave
inside the
before-
warehouse so that you can use spells to keep tabs on them.
you remember the last time?
I
we
like
were
how
in, we were
nobody has
trying
thought
to-
about asking local passersby and, engaging with the populace to figure out what the warehouse is.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
That's
fascinated
part
by
of the
the...
investigation.
Would that be a? Shit, I need to persuade somebody. Well, we just talked to somebody. Remember
There's
when
an
you dialed
investigation
shape-
check. So, yes, you're able to find out by asking around. Apparently, Brune, the antisocial and...
I need to know the soonest caravan to get out of this forsaken place.
That actually tracks with his
Specifically,
character.
what I'm asking anyone who looks like they might know something.
Oh, well, I think...
Who plays the caravan?
It's probably you probably want to talk to Dr. Ozymandias. He's putting together a caravan headed south.
North. We're going north.
You said soonest caravan out of town, and
All
this
right.
guy
What's the
kind of
soonest
scares
caravan
me.
head
going
north,
What's the soonest caravan north?
Well, there
Sounds too warm for my blood. I need the cold.
there aren't really that many caravans heading north. What with the
Well, I need to
volcano
know
having
which ones are
destroyed.
heading north. Do I look like I'm built for the cold, boy?
I thought you said you wanted the cold. I'm confused now. I'm concerned.
Going north.
Wow, what is with me and absolute failures?
This party's never. What the hell?
A nut game with a nut success. Jesus.
How does the antisocial dude?
I really want to leave.
He really hates being in a city. This actually fits. This works. This
Yeah.
makes so much sense. He's just like, I want to be out of this damn city. I want to be back in the mountains. I want to be away from all this bullshit. Help me out here, brother. My brother from another species. Help me out here.
It would still technically be another mother.
The only reason I got a boost on that is because of my level of persuasion.
Yes, you're
Otherwise,
trained
that
in it and you have a high charisma, so
Fuck.
rolling a
only
1
reason I
still looks
succeeded.
good. The only reason he succeeded is the luck of the dice. Oh, well, if you're trying to head north, you really only have two choices. There's the caravan headed for Tribor, and then there's the supply wagons headed up towards, headed up the high road for the reconstruction of the road itself around the Mere of Dead Men, which is part of the whole reconstruction effort for Neverwinter. And that's headed out tomorrow, actually. And if you're at all interested in working in working for that caravan as opposed to merely joining it, why, they'll probably have a representative in that building over there, and he points directly at the warehouse you saw the wagons being taken into, that will help you sign up as part of the escort, or, well, in fact, they do need laborers up there if you wish to stay up in the north, where it's nice and cold, and where you won't bite me. Because even your persuasion is a little bit scary.
Let's,
I give a
so,
growl. I
alright.
like
so
Thank
we
you-
signed on
thank you,
as
Carl. give him a gold and stomp off.
so we signing on as laborers or
Escort.
It's easy enough to sign on, even just as, hey, we have this one wagon pulled by a donkey, and we're going to join you. It's considered trivial. They don't even have a die roll like they did for the last one. And it just dawned on me that as I was talking about how Waterdeep gets a whole 7 paragraphs, it just dawned on me that of those, 1, 2, 3 of them cover how you guys find out about which caravan to join, and it assumes entirely that you ask about a half-dragon.
wow.
Which you would have to remember back to, like, the first 3 sessions to even remember there's a half-dragon involved here.
So
Yeah,
they
that's
put the
right.
description of the place in the part you're not supposed to read out loud again.
I mean, it's the 7 paragraphs about what happens while you're in Waterdeep, which is namely, you get paid, you get out, you join the caravan, you get the fuck out, don't stop and spend time in the City of Splendors. Nobody thought that anybody would want to spend time in the City of Splendors. Why the fuck do you want to spend time in the city that is literally the focal point of 3 separate adventure modules in 5th edition, and is one of the single most important cities in the entirety of Faerun throughout D&D's history? What the fuck are you doing in Waterdeep? Get out! Get on the caravan! Move the plot along, son! Move the plot along!
It's because they don't want you going to a better module.
I'm convinced of that. Though concerned, if you stay here too long, you might
just go to
Or
Dragon
just-
Heist.
and just go to like one of the actual Waterdeep fucking modules.
No, you don't need to meet the Masked Lords or anything.
Fuck that! You don't even need to know about the Yawning Portal. Why are you asking about the Yawning Portal? Nobody said anything about no Yawning Portal. Go to bed, head north.
The only yawning portal I know is to the Shivering Isles.
Oh, right. So we're set. No, we gotta do
You're
this and
set.
not get caught. And hopefully this convoy is more than just, Cult of the Dragon. If
Well,
more than
if
half of it's Cult of the Dragon, we're officially burning this shit to the ground.
Oh yes, and that Harper that you guys met is staying in Waterdeep.
Okay.
He has to report back in, yada yada yada.
He's being an asshole.
Also,
Yeah,
Waterdeep is so much. Look, he has so many things he can do in Waterdeep. The women alone make it worth abandoning you all to this quest. You guys got this. He's already been made after all.
If you want some pussy, then he could just go to Martin.
Hey,
That's a little mean. That's a little mean.
Okay, low blow. Keep the gloves on, man.
I'm not drunk. I am not drunk enough for that. I've only had 1 sip of my alcohol.
To be fair, that was more out of character than Bailey actually saying it.
Still,
All right.
that was just me.
Hey, the
So
proposal is that you take responsibility and I stop bullying you.
A quick shopping trip, and we're in a caravan.
Again.
And so,
But if we join as escort, people won't be asking too many questions if we're poking around where we're technically not supposed to.
Well, they'll ask more questions if we're not laborers, if we're signed up as laborers.
Well, they explain, it's pretty easy to find out talking with the caravan organizers that this trip north is all about bringing supplies for the reconstruction and reinforcement of a road near or through a swamp-like area. We're talking, you know, they're trying to pull some Appian Way type bullshit to reopen the path to Neverwinter, except that unlike the goddamn Romans, they're trying as much as possible to go around instead of make the road straight.
Of course they are.
Because, you know, why be efficient if it costs more? Fuck you. The Romans were some barbaric psychopaths, but they knew how to build a goddamn road.
Oh
So
God, it's the American infrastructure.
So I can safely say that we're going to be taking the long road.
Oh, no. You are taking the high road. But see how the high road kind of, instead of doing what the Romans would have done, if I just grab this, instead of doing what the Romans would have done and going, fuck you, swamp, and filling in as much as they went around, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and you did it the short way, too. Because it's actually more like... More like that.
So they're adding an extra day and a half.
Easily.
Okay.
And ending up in the foothills of mountains, which will probably slow down travel even more.
Not only that, but there tends to be a lot of things that like mountains that don't like people.
Nom nom nom.
I'm suddenly regretting this. Can we just go on the long road?
Don't worry.
I was going to say, we're
We got
taking
Sniffles
this
with
road.
us.
We'll be fine. I mean, at the very least.
Okay, think.
Anyway, all right.
As
That's no
Brune,
way to talk about your child.
as Brune is talking about how y'all have Sniffles with you, her head sort of darts up. She looks around. She realizes that she's on the edge of a very, very large city. And kind of belly crawls out of the chicken coop over to the luggage, lifts the lid of the luggage, and somehow manages to climb entirely inside.
Okay, I can work with that.
You know what? It didn't go and set place on file. I'm fine with it.
So now you have a dragon hiding in the luggage.
All right, cool. We can work with that.
You know what? It's out of sight, out
You're
of mind.
smart. You're such a good girl, Sniffles.
It's out of
I'll
sight,
do that
out
with
of
the
mind.
luggage.
I like how my wife effectively named the dragon. And so, on the following day, as things continue and the plot progresses... Oh my god, the plot's progressing. It's boring, but it progresses.
Give it a minute.
But at the same time, we get past the boring part that Wizards neglects. We get to the exciting stuff that we get to improvise. And by improvise, I mean you simply enable us to be ourselves.
Yep. So, leading your caravan, and you're given kind of a rundown as the caravan organizes of what all's going on. Lord Neverember, I don't know why he has such a dumb fucking name, but Lord Neverember is rebuilding the town of Neverwinter, and to do this, he needs the high road reopened, which means bypassing the Mirror of Dead Men, and we're bringing the supplies needed to build that road. Yes, we're going to build that road. And if you grumble one more time, the road will go 10 feet higher. That's another 10 feet!
No, that's perfect sense. That means that it won't have to worry about water being in the middle of the road. It'll be perpetually dry.
See, this man Thodrian knows what we're talking about. We're going to build the road so that the water can't swamp it, because it'll be another 10 feet higher because you just talked back to me. I heard you there in the back. All this fake news annoys me.
I shoved
What if
it forward.
it rains?
Obviously, that's when we let the immigrants handle the problem.
Wow, yeah, we
Oh
were
God,
going
this
there.
is America.
We were going there.
Yeah.
Okay, now that that joke is dead, beaten into the ground, and destroyed any chance of anybody watching the rest of the stream,
It's a lot harder to get rid of Snail than you realize.
I mean, she is our one viewer. The man giving this ridiculously stupid and inept speech is not Inane Dragon, the host of this channel, but rather a fellow named Ardred Britherhue.
Wow.
Did somebody try and find the one name that's worse than Spiro Agnew?
Yes.
Probably.
She
We also got
bus.
Naya. We also got Naya, so
That or they just tried to take Spiro Agnew and just A-ify his name?
Yeah, I can see it.
Failed horribly.
Yeah. You notice as you look around your fellow companions as you set out, that annoying little gnome girl has rejoined the caravan. And traveling with the cultists still is that other guy who doesn't talk much, as Bara Joss, who I believe you did successfully discover is a Thayan. So those two are still coming along, but nobody else from the previous caravan is there.
Well,
Okay.
we're gonna
Except you
stand
guys and the cultists. And the cultists keep shooting you shitty looks.
I shoot them
Well,
right back.
as
I
long
just
as-
keep on mugging them.
Let's
Billy is
see what
tempted to just
happens.
shoot them.
Well, the trip north begins, and no intimidation occurs whatsoever. It looks more like you're fondling the bag you made out of the dragon scales, rather than, stroking it intimidatingly, like you could take any of them on. No, it's more like, oh yes, I sucker your master's balls, yes, yes.
Yeah, this is a bit more Fergus than the Kurgan.
It's also not too out of character because Billy also has a scrotum hanging around his shoulders.
As the days pass and nothing of interest happens, the cultists seem to have stopped their whole murder-homicide approach to things. Gemna doesn't seem to be doing anything of interest. Literally nothing of interest happens.
Well, we made it quite a ways without anything happening.
Oh, no, I have Dr. Pepper and booze.
Oh, wow.
Bring me
How long
one.
does that take? Like a week?
And so this brings you to the 7th night of the trip, where you're able to see the mirror from the hilltop on which you're camped. You're able to see this expanse of marshlands and swamp. I'm not really familiar enough with swamps of northern regions to really be able to tell you exactly what it should look like. It's probably fens, small stunted trees, lots of, pools of water, stagnant water, the occasional zombie. Something about northern swamps makes me think zombies. Either that or Boston. Either that or Boston.
I'll pluck out like a dueling.
I'm thinking Innistrad.
I would have figured that the name Edmin would have hinted you into some zombies, but that's just me.
I'm sorry, Ziggy, you do not get the cute dwarf. And with that, we are going to take a very short break because this looks full, but I've been refilling it. So I need to empty out the other vessel that I have been filling. And we are back. Our
Hail snail.
quote-unquote heroes are camping out overlooking the Mere of Dead Men, which sounds so impressive and like they stole it straight out of the Lord of the Rings. Honestly, it really does actually sound that way. And I'm trying to figure out how many more days they have of travel time. Ah, yes, that's how much.
Yeah, just assume I've been drinking a healthy amount.
There's
every
been-
time I'm reminded about the dragon.
I understand there's drinkage. There's your baby trying to bond with you. She's slowly learning clumsy amounts of common.
Oh, that's good.
Because dragons are not dumb.
Oh, fuck.
Have we been learning Draconic in this time?
No, because humanoids are dumb.
Oh.
That tracks. We're supposed to let it hatch.
What?
I mean, to be fair,
That
we
was the
drank my
best thing
liquor.
we could have done. This is the best part of this entire trip.
There we go. Added to the sheet. So, sooner or later, I'm going to have to properly stat out Sniffles rather than having rough approximations built off of the Wormling Black Dragon. Assuming that you people let Sniffles live.
I don't want it to.
You shut your
I
mouth.
see it. I see it as an ally at this point, and it's probably going to bite us in the ass.
I am happy at any point during this trip. I am happy to allow Thodrian to use his whole detect good and evil ability on it. Because I've always felt like that ability ought to work more towards the fluff of its description rather than the text of its mechanics.
Uh-huh.
Fair enough.
But yes, over the course of a few more days, you arrive at what Ardred Brifferhue, whatever the hell his name is. He has a bad name and he should feel bad. But that's okay because the road's going to get 10 feet higher.
Is he overcompensating for something?
The road just got 10 feet higher.
Hey, I'm traveling this road once, for all you know.
I'm trying to figure out the correct retort to that. Build the mountains!
Wow. All right.
And so you all pull up at what appears to be a walled inn. And by walled, I mean there's a fortified wall around the complex.
Okay.
Huh.
Which is identified to you by Ardred as the Karnath Roadhouse, which used to just be a mere hostelry, but now is your destination, where all of your cargo is going to be left behind and you're all gonna head back south, because we're done. From here on, it's building the road. I almost said wall. Wow, I've been channeling that a little too much if I almost said wall.
I can safely assume that the Cult of the Dragon is still going north at this point.
Well, as I drag us all to here.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, fancy.
Zoom on out, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think I dropped you guys on
Level 2.
second
Yeah.
floor. So we'll drop you over here on the first.
All right.
What's funniest is that I actually predicted the right characters, because these characters have been sitting on this map, almost the right characters. They have been sitting on this map for a while.
I'm reliable.
Sniffles got tiny.
That's because this is the copy I dragged over from. So when you guys arrive, as the wagons are brought in, they're unloaded into this storage area,
many
Let
chickens
me-
survived the trip?
Hmm?
Like, at the rate we were feeding the chickens to the baby, I'm wondering how many actually survived this far.
Not
You're-
many.
You're pretty close. You had 10 days, so think about how many chickens you bought. And what a growing dragon baby needs. She's probably been running off hunting on her own this entire trip.
Oh, she's been doing that. I've been trying to go with her. There's a bear, there's a hawk.
There's gotta at least have been one time where you had to go as a shark because she's a black
Oh, yeah.
dragon. She swims, and you're right up against the ocean.
Cool.
So there's been oh god, this is setting up to be a horrible, horrible thing. You have the neglectful mother, and you have the daddy-daughter bonding times. This can only end in all of the tears.
It's like a Lifetime original movie.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So yes, the majority of the goods, if they are in any way weather sensitive, are being brought into this warehouse down here, above which is the bar and, eating area.
Oh,
On the first floor level, over along the north and west walls, are the majority of stables. There's also additional stabling down here. I don't know why they have a bunch of stable boys on the map, but whatever.
In case one of us gets frisky.
Apparently. And all of this is being run by a burly old half-orc named only Bog Luck.
That doesn't sound too lucky considering bogs.
That doesn't sound.
Unless he likes the bogs.
And you notice that a couple of the people who've traveled north so far, they have sufficiently valuable items that when they ask about securing them, Bog ends up taking them by himself using a key that is chained to around his neck to unlock the door into this room inside of the warehouse.
All right.
So you basically have general common area that's outside, it's exposed, it's where most of the wagons are being left. You have the stables. You have the main warehouse, and you have the secure warehouse.
All right.
So I guess we should
And
investigate a little.
I guess I should note that they just give it to you that all of the cult wagons are brought into the warehouse, and Bog Luck shuts the door on anybody trying to come in after the cultists, after their
Why
wagons
get
are
in
brought
there?
in.
Okay.
And then on the upstairs level, you have, above the stables, essentially, on the north and west walls, you have rooms for people to sleep in, and above the warehouse area, you have the common room, dining area, food, drink, etc.
It's like a loft.
So the question is, what you all do from here?
Well, our assassin has pretty good stealth, so he's gonna have to spend some mommy dragon time with Sniffles down here and keep an eye on what's going on in this area.
Upon hearing that, I'm immediately gonna pull out a flask and take a swig.
You want me to spend a scroll of burning hands on you? Because I will.
Then the dragon will use a breath attack on you. Trust me.
Well,
It hurts.
the dragon is currently inside the luggage. Sniffles is sleeping in the luggage because she understands the whole the other humans should not see her thing.
Right.
She's not a dumb girl.
By the way, is it a bad omen that sirens started outside my house the moment we brought up our assassin?
No, it just means he's finally getting arrested. He knows what he did.
All
Is
right,
it-
Went
so
AWOL.
Is it die?
we need
Yes.
to do a little.
Technically,
is
yes.
we need to do a little mingling, I guess. And somebody needs to keep an eye on what's going on because all the Cult of the Dragon stuff in here, we need to keep an eye on. And I'm assuming from here on out, it's just the Cult of the Dragon that's moving on from the sounds of things.
Oh no, the cultists are settling in up in the bar, and as you're watching the unloading proceed, like I said, all of the crates that the cultists had brought up from Greenfields, including the one that Billy knows for a fact has his mercenary guild's equipment in it, are being taken into the warehouse. And he's not allowing anybody who is not on... Bog Luck is not allowing anybody who is not either a cultist or somebody who is already here, i.e. somebody on his payroll, into the
I'm gonna be
warehouse
back in
while
one.
that is being dealt with.
I'm gonna be back in 1 second. I heard some weird shit outside my door.
Oh god, it's the cops.
Please don't get arrested,
No,
guys.
I mean, like, just weird, not threatening.
Oh god, it's the aliens. Watch their finger.
So we need to talk to the half-orc. We need to talk to Bog somehow. Or not even talk to him, we need to just figure out what's going on somehow.
Oh.
Is Bog standing next to the door? Or
Pretty
is-
much. During the unloading, he's standing by the door, controlling who goes in and who goes out.
Alright, well we can't do anything right at the moment to deal with that, so...
How many people are...
If you need somebody to keep an eye on the door, I could easily do that. I could just
So
pull out
Billy
a bottle.
So Billy is offering to stand as guard for him. What were you going to say, Brune?
I'm gonna help take some horses into the stables, like say this one.
All right. And Thodrian, did you have any thoughts?
I was thinking I'd head up to the bar and see what they got to drink.
I'll go with him.
I'm back, and I would like to say, kids are really fucking weird. There's some kids in the bushes beneath my patio, howling like dogs.
Okay. So that's
Kids are
crazy and weird.
fucking weird. Kids are really fucking weird. That's what I was talking about when I said I heard a weird noise.
Right.
Yeah. That's it. Kids are just really fucking weird. It is 9:40 at night. Why the fuck are kids outside in a bush howling like a dog?
Because it's quarantine and a Saturday.
Because they heard that's how you cure the COVID.
Don't tell me they heard that from the president. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me.
I was gonna say, the worst part is how you can literally go, oh shit, that might have actually been a thing that somebody said. Fuck.
Yeah.
Alright, so Martin, to bring you up to speed, Billy is trying to convince Bogluck to let him stand guard so that Bogluck can get a new beer, or whatever Bogluck wants to go do. Brune is helping stable the horses and the donkey. Jim Jones is at the bar already because it's Jim Jones. I have to think about what he would do because he's technically here. Thodrian and
He's trying to climb into the luggage.
Thodrian and Walker are... No, every time somebody else tries to climb into the luggage, while Sniffles is in there, she just kind of pokes her head out and nips at them. You know, kind of like a cat that's telling you no.
Okay.
It's just that gentle little nipping.
The luggage is going to
No.
wind up getting taken over as the hoard holder.
It's a dragon. What do you
Um,
expect?
So,
And Thodrian and Walker are also getting drinks.
I guess I'm going to stealth around, see if I can heal any conversations or anything that might could, by this door. See if I can heal any of these people. Kind of.
So most of the people who are part of the caravan, to be fair to everybody, are not being shown on the map because I'm not drawing a bunch of minis onto the map for the sake of just having minis to, for a social encounter.
right.
I'm still not entirely sure what the hell's up with these 4 stable boys. I'm sure it's going to be important sooner or later.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to stealth around and see if I can hear any rumors or any conversations from the cultists. Just anything that could help.
So give me a stealth and a perception, since you're just generally trying to listen in. Or investigation if you're... Never mind. You don't got to worry about it with those rolls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did good.
Yeah, no. So, the first thought that occurs to you, while Billy is distracting Bogluck with the notion of, hey, I could stand guard for you, and you can kind of hear this big-ass half-orc who's giving Billy the squirrely eye and just is grumbling about how, nah, I gotta make sure that things in my warehouse are safe by my own self. I gotta do this work for me. I need to know that everything is accounted for and right and proper, and due diligence will be exacted on everything here. If you have anything of value that you need to have protected, you give it to me. I make sure it's protected. You get it when you leave. But you aren't going to stand guard for me because I have to do this job. I have to make sure it's right. I am taking personal responsibility for every item of cargo that passes through this door. You, sir, can go on your way. And as he's giving this grandiose speech, you're able to slip unnoticed through the door because he's too focused on, giving Billy the I'm the big badass here speech that he's no longer doing his fucking job. And you basically waltz past him. Give me a sleight of hand check for shits and giggles. Because I think this would be in character for you if it passes. If it doesn't pass, I'm just going to ignore it.
It did not.
It did not even clicky.
It didn't click.
Okay, I'm taking the
There it
first
is.
one.
Yeah, it was slow.
Whenever there are multiples, I always take the first one. Because sometimes the game thinks you double-clicked. So as he's giving this lecture, you're actually able to lift the key off of him that, that I already discussed opens this secure door.
I'm so proud he's coming into his own.
And you're able to avoid the attention of any of the cultists, because they're focused on their task. So the cultists have been bringing their luggage from out here into the warehouse, and then instead of just stacking it up, they've been going through into the strong room over here that you now have the key to.
Go in it. Go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on in there.
I'm tempted to offer this guy a shot of scotch in just the respect he has and the good job he's doing.
See, I was when you said shot, I was half expecting you to say demon Ichor liquor, not
Yeah.
scotch.
Oh,
We
no,
created a
no.
distraction.
No,
Would
demon
be a
Ichor liquor. Demon Ichor liquor would cause an uproar, which would bring added attention, and I don't use that sarcastically.
That is true.
To be fair, it would bring added attention to him.
Who is at the door?
But it would lessen attention from us.
Who need to get through that door because you're through the door?
No, to be fair, I just have to get through the door. Y'all don't.
You're already through the door. What do you see?
I have to get back through the door. Yes, I'll put an investigation.
You roll me an investigation. Meanwhile, we're going to jump upstairs while you do that. and cover how Thodrian and Walker are treated to
I'm going high today.
an array of drinking options. And the bartender even leans in and whispers, "We have some special stock that, well, we have to be honest, it was inspired by some bizarre events out in El Turul. And, it's known to have some very interesting side effects if you wish to try it."
Wait, am I gonna have to sue someone?
Kent, how much is it to buy what would a flask, a hip flask, be considered?
They'd understand the concept.
How much would that cost me?
Well, this is a very rare and special concoction. In fact, we believe we're the only people to have properly perfected it.
Ooh.
Walker?
You got my undivided attention. Don't worry, I'm bringing you some for quality control. Don't worry.
And
Oh, no. This place is burning. If they stole my fucking recipe, this place is burning. Chaotic Neutral is within my alignment to burn this place to fucking hell.
Anyway, before you do that, because you can't hear this.
yeah, you have no idea this is happening. You have to understand that this is a very unique blend, a particularly special brew, and I'm afraid that it's going to be a full 50 gold to get a flask's worth, which would amount to in mechanical terms 10 shots.
Ooh.
So
Give
that's
me the
5
tasting notes.
The tasting notes. Well, wow, we're kind of an out of the way little rest stop for day laborers, and so I don't even know why we're experimenting with particular distillations of extraplanar origin. But since I've committed to this, I'll go down that rabbit hole. It definitely opens with a sort of sulfuric, smoky, forward-loaded taste. But as it settles smoothly across the tongue, it starts to burn its way through the throat, and all the way down until you almost feel like you need to writhe in pain before it bursts out, and you start to see the particularly special effects of this particular drink.
I'll take it.
And while that's going on, and Ziggy is rapidly anger typing at us.
No, my keyboard just fucking died on me, so...
Oh god. Why'd your
It's
keyboard
fine.
die?
It's because it's a janky USB keyboard, and it's just something with the programming. But would my sword be freaking the fuck out right now?
No, your sword seems unusually You're not sure how you're picking up on this, but your sword feels unusually satisfied in this environment. It's very
This place
calm.
has spilled a lot of blood.
And Martin, where you are with that investigation check, even as you're managing to dodge the attention somehow of the cultists who are dropping off their loads, that sounded wrong.
Oh,
Fine. We'll just run with my pornographic reference. You're able to find inside of this strong room that's supposed to be the most secure space to store anything of value. There's actually a secret hatch leading to a tunnel system.
We're gonna need to.
I'm gonna open it up and peep in it real quick. Although people in the room with me.
I'm willing to say that given the roles you've given us on this, you're able to choose a moment where you're fairly confident you can open it up and look, because you would be exposing yourself to open the lid. But with the roles you've had so far, and with how badly the module is written, I'm willing to go ahead and say that you're able to find a moment where you can kind of either cover the actions behind crates, or there's nobody in the room long enough for you to open the lid, take a peek around, realize that there is a tunnel running off into infinity for all intents and purposes. Underneath of this whole place. So there's a secret entrance into the strong room is what you're able to take away from the work you've just done.
Okay. I'm after seeing that, I'm gonna wait for another chance when no one is in a strong room, and I'm gonna go down into the. I'm gonna need like maybe a copper piece, something to kind of just barely keep it propped open.
Mm-hmm.
Just to,
Your investigations show that this hasn't. The secret entrance has no lock on either side. There's no way, short of somebody setting a crate directly on top of the secret entrance, that you would be unable to get back out.
No, I'm not trying to do that. For that, that might open it up just enough that if someone were to come in front of it, I might be able to see it like a shadow.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna do that.
So you're investigating down the tunnel?
Yes. I need to make another check. Or
Nope. But we are going to bounce around to give Billy, you may remember the speech I gave you, and Brune, you've finished helping put away the horses. We got to give you guys a chance to act.
Yeah.
Right.
I was intending to use the privacy of stall to turn into a spider and creep along the roof and
Basically rejoin with Martin.
Yeah.
Since that seems to be the point of interest. Okay, so I'm more than happy to say that if I can choose the right tool, there we go. So you essentially, without Martin necessarily knowing you're there, since you're in the form of a regular spider, you're in the room with Martin when he discovers the trapdoor, and Martin decides to investigate further. So he's now gone down into that tunnel.
I'm gonna creep.
I forget that
his
he can
pant leg.
shapeshift, and I almost asked how the fuck.
Druid, y'all. Druid.
Yeah, I almost forgot he could shapeshift.
It's taken a while to roll myself. Okay. Yeah, I try to creep on his shoulder as he's going down the tunnel.
He's gonna swat him. He's gonna swat Brune.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check at disadvantage. Because it's not really something you're thinking about.
That, and I assume I've also been drinking.
And you have been drinking. Yeah, congratulations. Despite how badly you rolled, Brune, he doesn't notice the tarantula on his head.
Wow.
Ow. I am barely feeling
I creep
the
under his
alcohol.
cloak, but above his shirt, and just
Okay.
hang out.
I can justify that. Maybe I'm terrified
Yeah,
that I did
until you
a
get
spider
large.
in here yesterday. Kind of terrified now that there may be a spider near me because of that. So thanks for that.
Oh yeah, we forgot. T doesn't do well with spiders. So anyways, Billy, what are you up to in all of this?
I want to give this guy a drink or two, simply for just how good and honorable he is. I'm just trying to pour myself a little
All right,
glass
let's
of
see if
rum.
this fixes it. Let's see if this fixes it. Did that fix it? Are we live again? Somebody let me know. The
I
one
will
person-
check right now.
Yes, we're back.
Okay, so somehow something must have hit the button on my stream deck that starts and stops the OBS to YouTube communication, because we lost the stream for a minute there, but we're back, we're live again, people are coming back to watching.
Blame Hazel.
What the fuck?
Blame Hazel.
I need to move this button.
That's a very important button.
Move
You
it
need a
to
guard
other side of
switch.
keyboard.
You need to wire that into a guard switch.
Okay, the button is now safely off of the main screen that I use on Stream Deck. Hazel, this is the one time I can't blame Hazel. I really wish I could.
Blame Frampton?
Hey, I'm not being blamed. I'm fine with it.
I'm
It's
hoping
'cause
to
you're
get all
doing
my
a good
bad
job right now.
rolls. I'm hoping to get all my bad rolls out of the way before we actually have to do battle with something.
So
Oh
Thodrian
god,
is...
does that mean I'm getting all my good wolves out of the way?
Yup.
Oof.
Sorry, dude.
This is going to escalate quickly.
So, just to give a very quick recap based on Zal's last comment that was obviously referencing the game, up to now, our druid Brune wild-shaped into a spider and has rejoined Martin, who hasn't realized that there is now a literal tarantula on his head, as he explores a tunnel underneath of the strong room. Walker has purchased a small flask worth of demon Ichor liquor, or at least what they assume is demon Ichor liquor, from the bar room. He and Thodrian are enjoying a meal and some snacks while they try and listen in to other people around them, including, in particular, the various cultists members that they know. And that should more or less bring you up to date. And y'all are in particular, Thodrian is able to pick out some references to tunnels and strong rooms, lizard folk, and, well, for some reason, the cultists more than anyone else talk about Bog Luck, the guy who runs this whole hostelry.
Let's hope he doesn't put hostile in that name.
Right.
Talking with some of the other people who aren't cultists but were involved in bringing up with working with the caravan, basically leads you to the conclusion that yeah, they're just here to drop off supplies, get drunk, and then when they sober up, head back down to Waterdeep to repeat the process because it's good money. It's good money.
That means that tunnel is going to be key, out of character. Assuming that he gets back up here in one piece.
Well, Billy has been getting Bog Luck drunk, apparently, because apparently Bog Luck kind of wants to bone Billy. Apparently.
Oh, God.
The luggage is still just sitting in the middle of the courtyard with a dragon in it.
I'd say we're pretty good.
I mean, once we finish dinner, I'm gonna go downstairs to check on the luggage and see how it's doing, and bring some, like a chicken leg or something for it. If not a whole chicken roast, I don't know what they have available here.
They're pretty well. It may not be chicken per se. It's some kind of swamp hen. We're not going to get into the etymology of food right now, but they definitely have food to eat.
All right.
They can keep a man fed. Or possibly even a dragon.
But can they feed a luggage?
I guess we're back down here now, since we finished our meal.
So down in the tunnel, Martin and Brune discover that it goes east. It keeps going east. It easts. It easts so much it yeets.
Oh, God.
I thought you said weast.
The tunnel goes on and on. Yes, it never ends. I forget the rest of that stupid-ass song. This is the song that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started digging it, and they...
So wait, we could literally just undermine this entire place by lighting a fire in that tunnel. I'm down for that idea because no one steals my recipe.
The tunnel is narrow enough that it would do minimal damage to the hostelry itself.
But where's it go? I mean, they're dropping shit off and then leaving, so back down south to repeat the process. So where does this tunnel go?
That is a good question. The question is, how far do Martin and Brune go before they decide, maybe we should turn back and have support?
To be fair, I don't know
About
Boone is there.
now.
You don't know Brune is there, but the question is, how far do you go down the tunnel before you go, maybe I should turn around and get help? And or how...
I'm gonna keep going until I hear some noises.
That might be a
Even
while from the
faintly,
sounds of
even just-
things. You could be gone for days.
Until I hear like even faint noises that indicates there's probably someone ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
Is when I will turn back.
How many nights are we staying?
It actually doesn't take that long to get to the end of the tunnel as I read ahead. Because they didn't assume that people had good rolls and good stealth checks.
Wow.
Yeah, assume everyone is unstealthy.
So, let's call it about the time it takes for Walker and Thodrian to finish their dinner, you're able to find where the tunnel exits outside of the hostelry. And we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Pardon me for that momentary break, but it seemed like a great cliffhanger to make you all wait on. And so, Martin and Brune find the end of the tunnel, which is just inside of the Mirror of Dead Men, hidden pretty cleverly from sight, even from the second floor of the hostelry. And as they're looking around there, Walker and Thodrian, having finished their lunch, have headed back downstairs to kind of make sure that, you know, the rest of their friends aren't getting everybody killed. Because that's kind of a repeating thing with this group.
Billy's just apparently about to get laid.
And get the guy drunk, yeah.
I'd say we're doing pretty good right now. I haven't set this building on fire.
Right? We've had 0 fucking building fires for 2 towns now.
I know, it's amazing.
I'm scared. There's gonna be a comeuppance. You're probably gonna burn down the sacred tree I have planned for Jim Jones.
If you take a look,
he's gonna fire. He's gonna launch a fucking fireball, and it's gonna land somehow in Neverwinter or all the way in Mithril Hall. For God's sake.
well, considering the amount of gold that I had, if you took a look at my character sheet and the items that I have, yeah, I bought some scrolls.
I was just thinking the next fire he starts is going to be absolutely devastating. Maybe to the point of even a capital being like, oh, okay, we're done. We're being destroyed.
You need to look at my character sheet. And the
Game,
items
why
that I
you no
have.
do the thing you're supposed to do? There it is. Never mind.
What in the 12 shits is that?
That is a very, very shitty picture, honestly. So, as Walker and Thodrian are coming back down from their lunch and making sure that the luggage hasn't been disturbed or has been disturbing anyone, making sure Billy hasn't gotten into trouble, and all of that, all the sort of things that the responsible members of the team do, a fair few number of the cultists kind of start crowding around, and one of them, whom Thodrian remembers as the person who kept giving Brune dirty looks over the past, this entire trip since Waterdeep and a few days before you even reached Waterdeep, just kind of comes up and pokes Thodrian in the chest. Hey, where's your goddamn friend? Where the fuck did your friends go? Where are they? What's going on?
I'm not their keeper. I don't know where they got off to. I decided to have a nice meal with my friend here.
Oh yeah, your friend here, she says as she shoves Walker's shoulder. Because apparently, as I double check, this is a she.
Boy,
Wow.
You're not
Intimidation
intimidating,
fails.
Walker.
God damn. I
Didn't
hope I
they
get better rolls when we start blowing things up.
didn't they say they were gonna go hunting?
Pretty sure.
Hunting? How could they go hunting? I never saw anybody leave out of the hostelry since we got here. What are you talking about? What game are you playing? Where is this little bitch? I have words to have with him.
Hey, if you
Well,
want
I
to
guess you better go find him.
yeah.
Or maybe I'll just have words with you, and your punk ass can take them to him once you can stand the fuck up again.
If I can remember the words. But quite frankly, I don't see a reason to remember the words based on how you're trying to treat it.
Look here, you punk ass. You don't talk to me like that. What the hell?
I will talk to you as I see fit, as you deem to talk to me like you see fit.
Look, they
You
really didn't
don't
write
wanna
this
go
part
there.
very well.
You really don't want to go there. You can't fathom the number of dead men behind us.
Ma'am, we could easily settle this peacefully with a drink and simply talking. We've been traveling for a long time, and I'm sure all of us could just use some time off our feet.
Are you also going to roll a persuasion check, Billy?
I could do so.
Because you sound like you're trying to persuade.
I am not persuasive.
Yeah, my persuasion isn't that good.
Wrong book, apparently.
It's
You
always the
couldn't
wrong book.
fathom. You couldn't fathom the number of dead men
Look,
behind
this
us.
isn't like 3rd edition where I have literally everything memorized.
No, here's the thing. Wizards printed it, so it's always the wrong book.
Ooh.
True.
Accurate.
Wow, those rolls are actually good enough, especially when you apply moldy donuts to walkers.
guess it just sounds like I'm offering drinks instead.
You're just talking about everybody getting drunk and having an orgy or something? No one's really sure. They stopped paying attention.
And Bog is slightly more interested now. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You
This
gonna
is
have some
happening.
half-orc dick tonight. It's a thing now. I'm sorry. As we flip through the books, because we can't be as interesting as Chaotic Roll or real RPG gaming streams.
Here's the thing: you can never predict what your players are going to do.
Oh, no.
Absolutely not.
You.
Trust me, I've learned. My players tried to adopt a robot.
Not try, we did.
So, yeah.
And then you fucking killed him.
I actually checked the rules for the sake of argument. And with the check that Walker got, the person who wants to kill Brune is now amenable to the idea of sitting down for a round of drinks and to just talk it out. You know, work through their feelings.
There you go. Don't make me scorch earth this place.
And so Thodrian, Walker, and her are now up in the bar, apparently, getting her drunk as she talks about how, you know, Brune really... He really... The things he did, you know, to her mentor, to the man she loves and idealizes, Langdedrosa. I mean, that hurt, that wounded her on a personal level. It struck to her very faith in the cult of the dragon, and, you know, those kinds of things demand reciprocity. She has to do something about it. She can't just ignore this, you know?
But at
It's
the same
important
time,
to her.
At the same time, Langdedrosa is his own man. He's fully capable of, you know, doing what he needs to do.
But he's an incarnation of the mother dragon, and how could you guys even do this to them, you know? God,
In our
you people roll too
defense-
fucking well.
In our defense, you have to bear in mind the state of the town when we arrive. You know, you're running through there, taking people from their homes, taking their things. You know,
I mean,
it-
sure, but they never properly prostrated themselves before Tiamat, so it's only appropriate. It's only appropriate to take what is owed.
Well, how can
You
you-
got to pay what you owe.
how
So,
can you properly prostrate yourself to Tiamat when you kill people before they can actually know about Tiamat?
everyone is born with an innate... Oh god, I'm going pre-supper with this.
Okay.
The roll was that good. The roll was that good.
To be fair, no successful cult starts with, well, you should have known about it, instead of, well, haven't you heard?
I mean, they kind of go with both, usually. You ought to have known about it, but have you heard?
I know, right? Have I deconverted this poor cultist? Was my roll that good?
She's
you got
not...
a 25.
She's not quite deconverted, but she's definitely questioning. She's definitely, like, right there in the moment with you and Thodrian, you know, jamming, talking it out. She's even getting into how, you know, there's this secret tunnel inside of the strong room that... Because, you know, she's not sure what the right thing to do is. And y'all have caused her to have some doubts about the whole situation. But, you know, especially with what your friend Brune did to her mentor, her spirit guide, really, Langdedrosa.
She was never supposed to win, according to the module.
I know. Y'all were supposed to lose that fight so fucking bad.
We never lose things
Druids
like
break
this.
the rules.
I've been trying to kill my players since day one.
How's that work for you?
Alright, so she's brought up this tunnel of her own volition, so now we know about this thing.
And
Now we
you
know that
haven't
Martin and
seen
Brune-
Martin or Brune in a long time.
in a while, and we know they're not out hunting. So it's a pretty good indication. Should I roll an insight to figure whether or not they're in that tunnel?
I'm willing to just give it to you. You've traveled with
Okay.
these guys long enough that you, Thodrian, and Billy, if Billy is partaking in this conversation,
All of you
Yeah,
saw me just
no.
tie a rope around my waist and belly flop into the portal to hell.
Yeah.
To be fair, Billy
This
doesn't
is
know
fair.
what actually happened in the original city.
that is true. Other than that, well, so Billy was there in some capacity, but you're right that Billy wouldn't necessarily know all of the details.
He wouldn't know exactly who was attacking until after everything was settled.
And I will note that it's not like they aren't hunting. They are hunting for clues.
Mm-hmm.
Choking on rum.
Stop
Good way to
choking on
die.
rum.
It's a good way to die.
So, since Billy's keeping our orc friend distracted, presumably in some manner,
Billy's about to keep all of his attention.
okay, so we could probably, I mean, with the persuasion check that I got, we can probably convince her to take us to this tunnel. I don't know, maybe.
I would consider that another persuasion check. That changes the situation enough.
That that changes the dynamic substantially. Oh, do I want to risk it? I've rolled so good this last one.
Your last one literally diffused a fight in the middle of the compound.
That is true.
Like, she was supposed to go beast mode on you guys.
Well, either way, I know where the tunnel is now, so even if the persuasion check doesn't work, I mean, it's not like she's going to stand in the way for very long.
Unless you critically fail and she decides to go back to the cult. That's not a critical failure.
I was waiting for Red 7 to pop up.
I know,
I was-
right? I was hoping
watching
I was
that
hoping
lady
for it.
die.
I was hoping
I
for
was
it
watching
because
that.
y'all are making this go too smoothly.
Oh, well,
Like-
that just means in combat we're all gonna fucking die.
Well, we're at the point where I'm literally having to merge the end of episode 5 into the beginning of episode 6. And for the record, episode 5 starts with you arriving in Waterdeep. That's how much we covered this session.
Nice.
Episode 5 sucks. It's pathetic and it doesn't exist. So yeah, as Billy is luring Bogluck, who is apparently gay, away from the door, Walker Thodrian...
He's gay?
I mean... He
Billy
doesn't...
will turn anyone to like Billy.
Oh, Billy's about to reveal so much about himself.
Billy is committed to the mission.
The mission comes first. The mission comes first. Spread the ass cheeks. The mission comes first.
Hey, I never said he won't enjoy it.
Is
I'm just
Bogluck
saying
the
that's his
mission in this one?
excuse.
What's up, Brune?
Is Bogluck the mission in this scenario?
Well, if that's the case, then I guess I'll be
Getting
blowing
him-
the mission.
You know what? I don't even know what I'm doing with this book anymore.
I had to unpause the
shit.
stream to see Dragon hitting him.
That was beautiful.
So yes, as Billy slowly drags Bogluck off to one of the stables
Come
for
here,
a nice
stable
little
boy, you're joining
roll
in.
in the hay, Walker Thodrian and this unnamed cultist chap, lady,
We get in. We wind up getting into the tunnel.
Are
We
led
all-
to the tunnel. This is after the cultists have basically cleared out because they had one job to do, and now they're all drinking, while Brune and Martin were exploring the tunnel. So as Brune and Martin are basically turning back around because, hey, they've worked it out. They get it. It's a secret way out of the strong room. So they're starting to head back through the tunnels when they notice people approaching them. Martin,
Uh-oh.
there are people coming down the tunnel towards you.
Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Don't
I'll
shoot
go
me.
immediately in the opposite direction.
I'm gonna roll a perception to see if I recognize him.
That's a good perception check. Fuck you people in your dice rolls tonight.
Yeah, no. When I said if I even vaguely heal, I'm going in the opposite direction. As soon as I told him, I'm taking off in the opposite direction.
I understand. So you
I try to
you
tap on his
basically
head to get his attention to make him slow down.
right. So let me narrate for just a moment so that we can get everyone on the same page. Martin hears the footsteps ahead and kind of sees the outlines of people beyond his field of vision, but he can't make them quite out yet as he spins on his heel and starts sprinting. But at the same time, all of a sudden there's this thumping of a stick-like feeling on his head. So he's trying to run back down the tunnel when something just starts pounding against his forehead, and he looks up just a moment to see a cantaloupe-sized tarantula that is sitting on his skull, tapping his head.
I'm going to need to. What do I need to make a save though? Because I know, even as Martin Luther, I would scream in terror.
Wouldn't that be
So
wisdom?
yes, I would say that what you're asking for is a wisdom saving throw to see if your character can cope with the situation.
Okay,
When I see
would
he's about to start almost
still
screaming,
be
I
at
start waving my
disadvantage?
front arms like.
It's a saving throw, so I don't believe that just being drunk would be enough to get you at disadvantage on it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's my bad
Oh,
blow.
When it's comedic, we get good rolls.
Yes, fuck you
Does he
people, I'm
swat?
rolling real dice off screen.
Oh
Does,
no.
does he swat Brune? That's all I want to know. Does he swat Brune?
I'm gonna go ahead and just argue yes.
Oh,
I
no.
see Angelo size
Oh no.
I'm going to just frantically
Martin?
Sorry, Brew.
Martin? Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
roll an attack at advantage as you land on your ass screaming and start slapping at your head.
See, I only have a short sword and a short bow, so just what a strength.
Just a strength check, basically. With advantage.
Oh no.
Wouldn't it also be proficiency or no?
It's slapping. I don't know that...
Oh
Wow.
boy.
Huh.
Oh, there it goes.
That connected.
3 19s.
How much health does the non-giant spider have?
1 hit point. So,
Oh,
when you
shit.
splat me, I turn back into an old hairy man.
Which would probably requires strength save to avoid breaking your fucking neck, Martin.
Oh fuck.
So the comedy of errors that Thodrian and Walker come across is facing away from them Martin Luther sitting flat on his ass, screaming and slapping at his head when all of a sudden there's a burst of green ichor right as they get close enough to really resolve the situation and see what's going on. There's this burst of green ichor underneath of Martin Luther's hand, and all of a sudden, boom! Brune bursts out of the liquefied remains of a spider and crushes Martin under his own weight.
Oh, no.
I
Please tell
technically momentarily kill Blue.
You
Please
technically
tell me.
murdered Brune for just a second.
Oh my
Please
god.
tell me Brune is sitting on his face right now because of that.
It's more like belly flop.
Wait, hold up. Wouldn't it be he just raises my hand up really quickly? Is like he just appeals.
He's in between your head and he is in between
Oh, okay.
your head and your
Oh.
hand.
Yeah, it's gonna...
So he materializes in between those. So your hand is resting on his ass, more or less. And your face is in between the navel and the crotch region
Oh,
as he flattens
no.
you on the ground.
I'm just gonna start slapping like, oh god, get off!
Well, hold up.
Roll Damone.
Domestic disputes,
up,
ladies and gentlemen. Domestic disputes.
Wow.
Yeah,
What
I'd
would Sniffles think about this?
pick Martin Luther up by his collar and like brush him off. You know, you need to be more quiet.
Get down here! On me!
It seemed the easiest way to go.
Win!
When you started going down the ladder.
Hi, guys.
It's...
How's
Hey!
it going?
Ah,
Been
Jesus!
better.
So
Found
what'd you
tunnel.
find? All right.
Tunnel and a broom.
Yeah,
You trying to get
said you
Brune's
found
tunnel?
Brune.
I sure felt like it.
You're not there, Billy. You're not there, Billy.
Hey, I have to make the dad jokes, okay? That's Ziggy. I have to.
Sexual innuendo is never a dad joke by definition.
If it's a bad innuendo, it is.
Not
So-
entirely sure I'm willing to give that to you.
Where does the tunnel go?
Outside to the marsh.
All right, cool. By the way, meet this woman who was trying to kick our ass because of Brune. We talked her down. She's cool now.
Oh. Why she want to
Langdedrosa.
kick my ass?
You killed my mentor, you bastard!
Wait, we didn't kill him.
Ah! And I like take a drink out of my flask with the cozy made out of his skin. Oh, that guy. He was a great fighter.
Wait, did we kill him?
You
Yes,
did end up
at the-
killing
Yeah,
him,
when we
yes.
set the camp on fire.
Oh, we did. That's right. We did end up killing him.
Just remember it by the sequence of fires.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
Was
she
it the
does.
first fire or the fifth fire?
Well, he went down fighting, and we're glad that we're cool now. Want a drink? And I offer her the flask with the cozy made from her master's skin.
She's kind of backing away, looking horrified.
You're gonna make me have to roll another persuasion check. I don't have that much left in me. Now, he's just trying to be friendly.
How?
He's just trying to be friendly. He was
You
an
know,
honorable warrior,
your
and he
master
did go
didn't
down.
I offer a drink.
He went down the way he would have wanted to. In honorable
Okay.
battle. And I hope this persuasion check sticks, because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to collapse this tunnel when I kill her.
I
No.
don't know any other way to kill people except mass.
Yeah,
Scorched
no.
earth is the best earth.
Walker is kind of a WMD. He doesn't understand that there is a
Walking
difference
message.
between no kill and overkill. It's either no kill or overkill.
Let's go for the no kill.
I will do my best.
And,
Oh, you
and
won't. We know that.
no, with a 16, actually, that's after the previous checks. That's already enough.
All right. Yay.
She's not happy. She's clearly disturbed and upset about this whole thing. But it's more closing in on herself, walling herself off from all you people, and just sort of stumbling her way back down the tunnel towards the hostelry.
Should we maybe stop her before she could tell anyone?
Yeah, we shouldn't let her
down
tell
here?
him.
Should I try another persuasion to try and stop her?
You're pretty convinced that she's not gonna tell.
Right.
She's now more isolated off to herself rather than still a part of the cult.
All right.
It's that what the fuck is going on? I don't understand anymore. All my basis for reality has been shattered. I don't know how to deal with this situation. I'm out. I might just fucking kill myself. I'm done.
Okay, I feel really bad for her, so I'm just gonna just give her a gold piece.
Here,
Just
for your troubles.
Heal. So get your things.
Get yourself some shit-faced drunk beer.
I feel bad.
Look, I know we undermined your very understanding of reality, and we've completely destroyed all of the social structures that matter to you. But here's
a gold piece.
Have some money. How more capitalist could you get?
Which is very ironic coming from someone who utterly despises capitalism.
And Billy's probably still back with the stable boy and half orc.
Please don't tell me you're fucking them.
We're gonna fade to
he's
black.
making love. It's more beautiful than that.
No.
No.
Are we about to see an interspecies gay marriage?
No, we're about to fade to black and declare that
Is
this
that
has
a Team
been
4-star reference?
Hang on. I'm seeing the mission to completion.
He's doing alchemy, guys. He's making the two backs out of And for dessert, the stable boy will join in and they'll create Gloria. I don't know if it's Gloria or a regular.
Poor dragon.
We are going to fade to black and acknowledge that this is actually a wonderful time to end the stream because we have actually completed the 5th episode. You know where the tunnel leads. You know where you need to go. Now you just have to follow the loot. And that'll all happen next time on Hoarding Dragons. Thank you all for joining us, and have a good night, because I know I'm drinking to forget this shit.